about percents. Usually with percents, we're either trying to find the percent of something, or we're needing to convert percentages to decimals so that it's easy to compare, easy to figure out. With this, to convert from a percent to a decimal, it's really easy. All you have to do is move that decimal point 2 places to the left, and we'll look and see how that is. This is gold. Every time you see the word of, it means multiply. And every time you see the word is, it means equal. So if I were to say 15% of 13 is what? That means 13% times equals, so we'll be looking at some questions like that as well. So in this first one, we're going to say it wants us to convert 0.18% into a decimal. So what I mean, moving the decimal 2 places to the left, I'm going to get rid of the percent sign, and I'm going to move it 2 places to the left, add a 0 wherever there's a blank, and 0.18% becomes 0.0018. Another example, if we had 34.5%, well, we move that decimal place over 1, 2, it becomes 0.345. Pretty simple. Let's look at one that might be a little more complicated. 201%. Looks a little complicated. The important thing to remember is if there's no decimal, the decimal is always at the end. If we had 3 and we needed to figure out where the decimal point is, the decimal point is always after that whole number. So in this case, it's right there. So 2 to the left, 1, 2. This becomes 201%, becomes 20.1. All right, so I'm going to give you a couple of these, very simple to do on your own. You got a chance to work on some of these on your own. So let's look at them. Again, with each of these, we're moving that decimal 2 points to the left. So in this one, we're just going to go, I'm going to erase that right there so I can go 1, 2. Remember, anywhere there's a blank spot, we need to add a 0. So this first one becomes 0.09035. All right, again, in this next one, 10.09. All we're going to do is move that decimal 2 places to the left. This becomes 0.1009. So I hope you got those ones right. So then we're going to talk a little bit about how you find the percent of something. So if we look back, of is always multiply. So if I were to say 25% of 80 is what? I'm going to replace is and of with their math symbol. So 25% of, which means to multiply, 80 is means equals what? In order to use a percent, we have to make it a decimal. So that's why it's important to know how to go from percentages to decimals. So in this case, I'm going to drop that percent sign. My decimal point is at the end because it's a whole number. So I'm just going to add it to the end and move it over 2 places. So this becomes 0.25 times 80. And that's a lot easier to work with. So I can go ahead and I can take my calculator and I can say 0.25 times 80, and that'll give me 20. So 25% of 80 is 20. So let's look at another one like that, and then I'll let you guys practice on your own. So we have 25% of $120 is what? So I'm going to start by replacing of and is. So I'm going to say 25% of 120 is what? So convert this by dropping the percent sign, adding that decimal to the end, 2 places to the left. So 1, 2. So 0.25 times $120 equals what? So again, I'm going to take my calculator and say 0.25 times 120 is 30. So I'm going to say 30, but since we have this dollar sign, then the unit's going to be $30. So if I were to say this $120 Keurig is 25% off, I know 25% of that is 30. So it's $30 off. I can take $30 from that $120. That Keurig is now $90 instead of $120. So that's why this is important to use in real life. I use this all the time when I'm at the store. When you hear something say, oh, it's 10% off, and it's only saving $1, sometimes it's not worth it. So go ahead, try these next two on your own, and we'll come back and review them. Last two examples, I hope you got a chance to do them. I hope they made a lot of sense. I really like percentages because, like I said, it's really applicable. I use it when I go to the store. So I think it's really important to use besides just the GED. So we have 15% of 20 is what? So we have 15%, and I'm going to replace this with the multiply and this with equals question mark. So I'm going to convert this, drop the percentage sign, add the decimal, 2 places to the left. So it becomes 0.15 times 200 is, so I'm going to take my calculator. I'm going to say 0.15 times 200. Oh, 0.15 times 200. My goodness. 0.15 times 200 is 30. If you need extra help doing multiplication without the calculator, I would suggest trying some of these without using the calculator. If you feel pretty confident about your multiplication, use the calculator, save yourself some time. Get used to using the calculator. It'll save you time on the test because it is a long test and you want to make sure you have enough time to answer every question. So let's do this last one. Again, replacing the of and the is with multiply and equal question mark. And then I'm going to convert this 8%. 1, 2. There's a blank space here, so I'm going to add a 0. So it becomes 0.08 times 50 equals. So using my calculator again, 0.08 times 50 is 4. So since there's a dollar sign here, I'm going to add a dollar sign here. So my answer is $4. And that's an introduction to percentages.